Hi, this is Sahana Kathik
and Hannah Wallace reporting from the Lobby Observer.
Center Stage, a club at WHS, has been a fan favorite for years. Each fall, they put together a series of one-act plays, followed by a full-length play in the winter and a musical in the spring.
This winter's play will be the Laramie Project, a play by Moses Kaufman, which is based in 1998 and was published in 2000, and is based on a true story.
Matthew Shepard, a student at the University of Wyoming, was beaten to death because he was gay. His murder is known as a hate crime and brought attention to the lack of Wyoming laws against hate crimes.
The play follows members of the Tectonic Theater Project as they interview citizens of the town where Matthew was killed, Laramie.
Today, we are talking with Miss Jazz, drama teacher at WHS and the director of the Laramie Project.
Let's hear a little bit from Abby Northrup's conversation with Miss Jazz.
This is Abigail Northrup reporting for the Lobby Observer. I'm here with Miss Jazz. I have a few questions for you. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. So what is your favorite part of working at WHS?
It's going to sound really cliche and maybe kind of unbelievable, but honest to God, the students and most importantly, my theater students. I feel like anybody who is part of the Center Stage program it's just really important to me that we, continue to have a good vibe in that place and a place where people can take refuge and a family away from family. So that's really what gets me up in the morning, is making sure that that's happening.
Awesome. So why did you choose the Laramie Project?
It's a really complicated answer. I'll try to keep it simple. I've wanted to direct it for a really long time. My brother is a large influence sort of on me and sort of the things that I'm passionate about. He was gay. He is gay, but he was struggling in high school. And I remember talking about how he talks about how seeing the Laramie Project really changed his life. We grew up in a very white, affluent town where it wasn't really accepting. We went to a Catholic church that wasn't really accepting, so it was tough. And he always talks about the Laramie Project and Matthew Shepard as being something that really helped him feel reassured that there was another world out there where he could feel accepted. And so I've always wanted to direct it, and it just felt like the time with everything that's going on in the news and LGBTQ rights being questioned and threatened, it just felt like the right time.
Yeah. So what's been challenging about dealing with such a difficult topic and performing it?
I really haven't found anything too difficult yet. I think the more we get into it and the closer we get to it, the more powerful it will feel. I think right now it's just a matter of figuring out how to bring in as many people as we can, so that the message reaches people who need the message.
Yeah. And why do you think that this is important for people at WHS to watch?
I think it's extremely important for people at WHS to watch. I mean, without pointing fingers, there has been a lot of sort of hate in these halls, and it's something we have been struggling with, ever since I've been here. And I don't think that's necessarily a WHS thing. That's an everywhere thing right now. And I think as much as high schools do to try to create an inclusive environment, there's always more to be done. There's always those people who aren't quite there or need that push or simply need to just be asked to think differently or open their minds to think about something differently, or to simply be empathetic, of somebody else that maybe you're in class with that you don't quite understand, right? So I don't think that work will ever end, right? Hopefully it gets better and better as we go, but I think this will always be. I mean, this play is about, the 1990s. So we're 30 years out, right? And we've talked about in rehearsal, all these people that we read about in the script still feel like real people today, right? They feel like our grandparents or our mothers or our friends, right? So I think the play is really standing sort of the test of time, which is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been Abigail Northrup reporting for the Lobby Observer.
It's interesting to hear about the meaning behind this play and the importance of sharing it with everyone.
I know, it sounds like a powerful show. In the meantime, let's hear from some of the actresses and actors.
We will turn it over now to Meredith Swanson, who's with Amelia Wallace and Tyler Keogh, both cast members in the upcoming show and current Center Stage co-presidents.
This is Meredith Swanson reporting for the Lobby Observer, and today I'm here with Center Stage co-presidents Tyler Keogh and Amelia Wallace. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Good, how are you? I'm good. So I've heard you both two are acting in the Laramie Project, so I wanted to know, how has performing in the Laramie Project benefited you as actors and as people?
Well, the story is very powerful, and it's made me a lot more aware of how prevalent these issues are today and how relevant the message is.
Yeah, and just like spreading awareness that like it's still like casual homophobia like that still exists.
Yeah, for sure. So what is the most challenging part of performing in such a serious play with serious topics?
I feel like just making sure that you're staying respectful and like to the people, to Matthew Shepard, who the specific story is about, but also to everyone else who might have been affected by it, like whose stories aren't necessarily told, and making sure that you're like knowing where the line is as to what to say and how to approach these, because it's a very sensitive sort of topic.
Yeah.
And especially staying true to the actual people that were interviewed. We want to make sure that we're portraying them with justice, because they were actual real people that were interviewed, and these are their actual experiences and thoughts. So
Yeah. So why should students come see the Laramie Project?
I think an aspect of it is that it makes, like, it's sort of an uncomfortable thing to talk about. Like, as it shouldn't be uncomfortable, but it is, just because of like the magnitude of the story. So I think sort of like challenging yourself and making yourself feel uncomfortable and something like that is important, because it should be something, first of all, that shouldn't happen, and also that you shouldn't feel uncomfortable with.
And we have to like be uncomfortable to spark change, and I think that this play will also give people just a different perspective on what's going on in the world.
Yeah, for sure. Where can people buy tickets to see the show?
Oh,
You go
well,
for it.
we're gonna sell them at lunch when the show time gets closer.
Yep.
And then you can also buy them at the door.
And hopefully we'll have tickets online at some place on our website, so you can access them there.
How can other students get involved in Center Stage?
Well, there's QR codes all around school if you want to join the classroom.
On posters, and I don't know, just I guess coming to see the shows and coming to like support your other classmates in that kind of stuff can help you get involved. And also doing tech and crew for shows is so important, and whenever it comes, I guess, audition time for the next show, try out.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you two so much. It's
Of
been
course.
lovely talking to you. And
too.
once again, this is Meredith Swanson reporting for the Lobby Observer.
It sounds like Amelia and Tyler are both very passionate about theater.
Especially because they are both seniors. It'll be exciting to see them perform while they are still a part of the program.
The performance is happening on January 19th, 20th, and 21st at 7 p.m. in the WHS Auditorium, and tickets can be purchased a week before at all lunches.
We will now look at another popular event that just recently took place at WHS, Ned's Coffee House.
It is run by the Literary Magazine Club and coordinated by seniors Rachel Martin and Abby Cushman, and advised by Miss Pelletier.
LitMag strives to display student work, whether it be through writing, art, or photography. They produce literary magazines compiled of the students' submissions. Multiple issues are released each year to be shared with WHS.
Now we will hear from Rachel Martin about what Ned's Coffee House is and their most recent performance.
This is Meredith Swanson reporting for the Lobby Observer, and today I'm here with Rachel Martin, the president of LitMag. How are you doing today, Rachel?
Great, how are you?
I'm good. So I have a few questions for you. And so, would you be able to tell us a little bit about like the background of Ned's Coffee House? Like, how long has it been running for?
I couldn't tell you an exact year. If you wanted to know, you could maybe ask Ms. Pelletier, but it has been a like very long-term high school event. It's, I feel like, a fan favorite of like teachers. We have the same teachers come back to like chaperone every single year. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what has gone into like organizing an event like this?
It's a lot of planning. There's just a lot of moving parts. It was more difficult last year. I was the president last year too, and we were trying to bring it back after COVID. And so figuring it out with a lot of people who had never really run it before, because we had it my freshman year, but I wasn't in like a leadership position. And so I personally am mostly in charge of general communication with everybody who's working on it, on recruiting people to perform, on like organizing performers and making like a set list and communicating the like tech stuff with Mr. Masciarelli. And then we have somebody in charge of our raffle and reaching out for donations from companies and like pricing and all of that. There's someone in charge of like stage management, so we have to like actually build the stage in the lobby the day of, which is a lot of like coordination. And that person also helps with like bringing things on and off the stage between acts. And we have someone in charge of concessions, so we always have like homemade baked goods from the club, but also chips and water and coffee, and so somebody's in charge of all of that. So it's a lot of moving parts and lots of planning.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds very stressful, but also fun.
Yeah, we've luckily like kind of got it down to a science this year, so we know what we're doing.
That's good.
Yeah.
So have you had any positive feedback after the past events? I know you were just saying like how teachers came and like they love it, but
yeah, I feel like every year we have a lot of people just saying how like special of an event it is, because there aren't a lot of events at our school that like bring together like different parts of the school the way Ned's Coffee House does. It's sort of like a doing event, but it's not. But a lot of the people who come to it are like theater kids or chorus kids or band kids, but there's also people that like I had no idea had bands outside of school that come and perform. And so I always get feedback that just it was so cool to see all the variety of stuff. We even have like people do Bollywood dance.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's super cool. So we've heard that you're going to be performing this year. So what made you choose to perform at Ned's?
Well, I have been performing at Ned's ever since my freshman year. That was like a big like step for me when I was a freshman, because I was like really self-conscious and nervous, and I've always loved to write songs, and like at the time I played the ukulele a lot, but I'd never really performed them for anyone except for like I would like film videos of myself and watch them back, or like sing something for my mom. So like I decided to like perform an original song, and it was just like the most rewarding experience. I was so proud of myself. So then I did it again last year, and I'm excited to do it again this year.
That's so cool. So do you have any advice for somebody that is interested in performing but is hesitant to signing up?
Yeah, just put yourself out there. Like I said, I was like really nervous as a freshman because I hadn't really even sung by myself in front of people outside of like a show I was in or anything like that. But like my fondest memory of Ned's Coffee House was my freshman year. After I performed, I like went to the bathroom, and some random mom that I didn't even know came up to me and was saying how much she identified with my song lyrics and stuff. And I was like, that's crazy that like something I can write as an angsty like 15, 16-year-olds can like connect with people.
Yeah.
So if you're doubting yourself, put yourself out there. That's my advice.
All right. Do you have any other like comments about or information about Ned's Coffee House that you two would like for people to know?
Yeah, you can buy tickets during lunch for $8, or you can buy them at the door for $10. The event's at 7 p.m. on Friday. Doors open at 6:45. It's really fun. I hope to see lots of people there.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank
it was
you.
a pleasure having you. And once again, this is Meredith Swanson from the Lobby Observer.
It seems like Ned's Coffee House was a big success.
It is really wonderful to see the WHS community gather to share their talents with each other.
That's all for now. This is Sahana Kathik
And Hannah Wallace signing off for the Lobby Observer from Studio 33 at Westboro TV.